as we continue the renegotiation of NAFTA, and it continues. Concern from the agricultural community rises here as well, the potential for withdrawal, and that has intensified. Joining me now for this week's AFBF Market Intel Report, Market Intelligence Director John Newton. John, thanks for joining us from our nation's capital. Let's start out with a recap of the value of products to our NAFTA partners that we have in 2016, 2017.
Well, I think everybody in agriculture knows how important NAFTA is to the farm economy. In 2016, we exported about $38 billion of agricultural products to Mexico and Canada. They are in our top three for export markets. And already through 2016, NAFTA exports are up about 3% year-over-year levels. NAFTA is very, very important for U.S. ag.
Now, let's talk a little bit, let's zero in, the importance of NAFTA to some individual states that you might pick out.
Well, so we looked at the USDA data, and it really borne out that there are many states that depend very heavily on NAFTA as a share of their total ag exports. Take, for example, Vermont. 80% of the ag exports out of the state of Vermont are destined for NAFTA partners. In Missouri, it's nearly 60%, and in other parts of the country, it's very, very high, reflecting the diverse mix of commodities that we supply to those markets.
Yeah, interesting. You would think it would be North Dakota, along the border, or Texas or Louisiana on the south, but interesting states there, Vermont and Missouri, just two examples. Moving forward, impacts, if indeed there should be a withdrawal from NAFTA that Farm Bureau would see.
Well, you mentioned North Dakota, you mentioned Texas, and those states depend very heavily on NAFTA as well. It's important to remember that NAFTA allows for an integrated North American agricultural economy. That means cattle can move freely across the border. That means we can move dairy products freely across the border. So you start talking about a NAFTA withdrawal, and then we talk about products backing up, building in inventories. We're already at a point in time where farm income is at its lowest levels in a number of years. Having inventory build up or making it more competitive in those export markets will be devastating to the farm economy and the commodity prices.
And John, always wanting to connect urban and rural audiences here on Market Day Report. And you talked about this whole discussion, Mark, it's not just about agriculture.
That's right. It's not about agriculture. We talk about autos. There are several chapters in NAFTA and several industries that have interest. And the U.S. Chamber of Commerce came out with information recently that indicated about 13 million jobs across this country depend on NAFTA. And at a state level, it's about 8% in some states where jobs depend on NAFTA. So it's more than just agriculture that depends on this trade agreement.
Thank you very much for your time, as always. We appreciate our weekly visits. Happy Thanksgiving to you and the Newton family. That is American Farm Bureau Federation Market Intelligence Director John Newton joining us live